To confirm Luo Feng's death, the most important thing was to see the remains of the cloud contact vine, and the red tag had a secondary effect. If I were to enter the ice forest and get surrounded by the beasts, I would definitely die. Much less him. However, I have to confirm his identity. Sector Lord Wu Qi stood at the intersection of the 817 caves, anxious and unbearable. What to do? He couldn't enter, nor could he leave. I'll enter the virtual universe network and find the others. Sector Lord Wu Qi sent out a thread of his consciousness and swiftly connected to the virtual universe network. Different from Blood River World, 9-Star Ocean was a place controlled by the virtual universe company. There were many aboriginal sector lords and undyings who returned home after exploring the vast universe. This caused the 9-Star Ocean to have universe ships and virtual universe network consciousness sensors and other items. Virtual universe within an old and simple mansion. Bayan. Sector Lord Wu Qi sat in a chair, a screen floated before him. Very quickly, a black-horned man appeared on the screen. It was the strongest warrior of the 6 from the 1000-star sect. Sector Lord Level 9 Bayan. Wu Qi, you're looking for me? Bayan asked on the screen. I think I've found the target. Wu Qi's eyes seemed to be burning with a cold flame. Bayan revealed a look of glee. This mission was actually a hot potato. They were very clear that the target's background wasn't simple. However, they had no choice but to come. If Sector Lord Wu Qi could kill the target, Bayan would be incomparably happy. Are you sure? There's no way. Wu Qi shook his head. What's going on? Bayan was curious. It's like this. I discovered a universe level 9 youth earlier. Sector Lord Wu Qi began to describe from start to finish. Bayan was silent for a while. You're wrong. Bayan said. Wrong? How could I be wrong? I almost died. That universe level 9 would definitely die. And he was able to escape from me. He's definitely not from 9-Star Ocean. Sector Lord Wu Qi was extremely confident. Yes, he definitely can't be from 9-Star Ocean. Bayan said. However, Wu Qi, you've forgotten one thing. This demon mountain is frequently visited by powerful beings from the virtual universe company. These beings are all universe level 9s and they all have many tricks up their sleeves. The one you met was indeed extraordinary, but it might not be the target. It's very likely to be another noble existence. Wu Qi was stunned. Yes, Bayan was right. There was more than one universe level 9 that came to Demon Mountain to explore the universe. Then what should I do now? Wu Qi frowned. Should I stay here and wait for an opportunity, or should I continue searching? How about this, you guard the cave entrance for the time being. Bayan said immediately. After a period of time, sneak into the cave. When you approach the ice forest, you should not be discovered if you carefully retract your aura. Take a peek and see if there are any remains of the Cloud-Scraper vine. I don't think those stupid beasts would destroy the Cloud Contact vine's remains. Wu Qi pondered for a moment and nodded. In the vast and deep tunnel. After the gigantic lizard beast discovered that its target, the human sector lord, had disappeared, it chased for hundreds of thousands of kilometers in one go, but it still couldn't catch up, so it stopped. Whoosh. After a while, the 4 sector lord level beasts behind swiftly slowed down, stopping behind the lizard beast. Howl. The lizard beast raised its head and roared, causing the entire tunnel to shake. Howl. The other 4 sector lord beasts raised their heads and roared too. After which the lizard beast turned around and returned, the 4 sector lord beasts followed behind. When they were chasing the human they ran quickly, but when they returned they just casually ran. Their speed was only a third of before. What's going on? They're returning? A member of the vast army of phantom beasts, the 8-meter-tall cute ice bear looked around, only to see that the phantom beasts had stopped running. Rumbling sounds could be heard as they followed the leader, the lizard phantom beast, and began to return. Even though the lizard beast and the other 5 sector lord beasts were returning, the other over 1,000 beasts weren't exactly the same. Most of the beasts returned. There were a few that walked leisurely, even a dozen continued to follow the tunnel, heading towards the human sector lord's direction. Their thinking was extremely simple. Just like a bunch of chickens running around, most of them ran together. However, there were still a few that broke away from the main group. No wonder I met a single beast before. The ice bear Luo Feng walked leisurely, quietly observing the situation around. The beasts like to live in groups. However, occasionally there are still some that foolishly break away from the group. I wonder if that sector lord is dead or not. If he's dead, I'll be able to leave this tunnel. If he's not dead, he'll probably escape far away. I can still go to other places. The ice bear slowly walked with the other 10 beasts, heading towards the human sector lord's direction. At times the ice bear would run, at times strolling. The other dozen or so magical beasts would occasionally use their huge bodies made of ice to gently knock against the ice bear. During the journey with the 10 beasts, the ice bear Luo Feng ran for a while, shaking off the other beasts. Only then did he increase his speed towards the tunnel entrance. After a while, Luo Feng, I've detected a world energy ripple. It's from that sector lord from before. The running ice bear naturally began to slow down, intentionally using its body to knock into the ice walls beside. After advancing for a while, it turned and returned. There's a beast? The black-horned skinny man guarding the intersection of the 817 caves creased his eyebrows, after which he let out a sigh of relief. It's a universe level 3 beast. What a fool, using its body to knock into the ice. Foolish. He couldn't be bothered to kill a beast. And Wu Qi himself was too afraid of being chased, afraid that killing this beast would attract more beasts. It's returning. That's right, return to your nest. Sector Lord Wu Qi revealed a smile. The beast had already returned and left the area of his world energy. The ice bear slowly walked through the deep and serene cave passage. When it walked out of the range of the world's power, it suddenly stopped. LuoFeng, we've already left the area of the world energy. Who? The ice bear's eyes gleamed. I didn't expect that Sector Lord to still be here. The place we were at before was 10,003 kilometers from the intersection of Cave 817. According to the distance, that Sector Lord could very well be hiding at the intersection of Cave 817. Constantly scanning. Babata communicated mentally, that place is extremely safe. The moment he finds a powerful beast chasing him, he can immediately enter another tunnel. The beast probably wouldn't even be able to guess which tunnel he went to. However he didn't leave, I can't help but suspect. Suspect what? LuoFeng asked. The terror of the beast horde, that Sector Lord, is very clear. If he stays at the intersection even though it's safe, there's still a chance he'll be chased by the beast. The safest way is to leave far away from here. However he didn't. In Demon Mountain he didn't search for the tags, instead guarding the cave entrance. Plus the way he chased you before, I can't help but suspect. His true target is you. Babata said. It's me? LuoFeng frowned, recalling the process. Indeed, this Sector Lord was constantly on guard at the entrance, not daring to relax at all. If it wasn't to kill LuoFeng, there was no need for him to stay at the entrance in fear. Why does he want to kill me? LuoFeng frowned. For the Aboriginals to join the Virtual Universe Company, one was to stay in Demon Mountain for a month, or to search for 1,000 black tags or 1 red tag. However, with a Sector Lord level SIXS strength, searching for 1,000 black tags or staying for a month was very easy. There was no need for him to stay at the entrance in fear. Even if he suspects that you are one of the majesties of the Virtual Universe Company, there's no need for him to kill you. Firstly, killing a certain majesty isn't beneficial to his future development in the Virtual Universe Company. Secondly, there's no need for him to do so. I guess. Someone wants you to die or wants one of the other 2 majesties to die. Babata said. Wants me to die. LuoFeng's expression changed. According to the information. Right now, there were a total of 3 core members of the Virtual Universe Company in Demon Mountain, including himself. His target should be one of you 3 majesties. Babata was very certain, and it's hard to say if the other 2 entered Demon Note Mountain. Hence, the probability of the true target being you should be 50%. 50%. Who wants to kill me? I haven't offended anyone. LuoFeng frowned. Sometimes people you don't even know will want to kill you. Sometimes you don't even know who you've offended. Babata said, I've followed your teacher for over 60 million years, I've seen too much deceit. I'll advise you to be careful. Entering Demon Mountain this time isn't simple. Understood. The ice bear let out a low growl and began to return to the ice forest. As the walls of this ice tunnel were simply too thick, the surface layer of ice might be able to crack and shatter. However, the later layers were a few km thick and there was no way around it. Even the Sector Lord warriors just ran for their lives, not crashing into the rock layers. This meant one thing. This majestic Demon Mountain's black rock was actually extremely tough. After a while, the ice bear slowly returned to the ice forest. Within the vast ice forest, many beasts were quietly living. The ice bear LuoFeng's arrival didn't even draw the attention of the other beasts. Howl. A 600m long domain lord level 9 flying beast laid on the ice layer, casually flapping its ice wings. That ice wing immediately caused the ice bear to tumble and roll a few rounds. Only after that did the ice bear awkwardly climb back up. In this illusory beast lair, the ice bear shuttled back and forth between many illusory beasts, advancing unceasingly. Since there's no way to leave from that tunnel, I can only see what's on the other end of the ice forest. LuoFeng thought. The ice bear slowly advanced, occasionally letting out a low growl. Update complete. The closer it was to the wedding, the more troublesome the wedding preparations were. However, the update before the wedding would definitely be maintained. Of course, there was no way around the wedding because the wedding would be held in 3 places: my home, my daughter's house, and my wife's workplace. How complicated. There were many book friends here. Those who were interested could all go and play. Finally, get some votes, monthly votes. Recommendation votes. The beast hordes around the ice forest were split into 3 groups. Lizard beast, giant human beast, and flying beast. These were the Sector Lord pinnacle beasts that led these 3 groups. Mosha LuoFeng's ice bear form was slow and foolish, walking along with the other beasts. After about 3 hours, he finally walked out of the beast hordes area. Damn. Ice bear LuoFeng let out a sigh of relief within. He turned and glanced back. Within the vast ice forest, there were many beasts living. I finally walked out of the beast hordes area. Only then did ice bear LuoFeng relax a little. The originally foolish ice bear's eyes gleamed as he looked ahead. Ahead it was still the vast ice forest. Only occasionally there would be a foolish beast that got separated from its group. Anyway, there's no way to retreat. At the other end of the cave, that Sector Lord is guarding it. Right now, I can only continue forward. Ice bear LuoFeng occasionally sprinted, at times leisurely. In a short while, he couldn't see any other beasts in his field of vision. All he could see was the vast ice forest. This ice forest, he couldn't even see the end. LuoFeng continued to advance in his ice bear form. Ong. Howl. The demon notes were sometimes strong and sometimes weak, invading his soul and confusing his consciousness. The moment he was completely affected, he would become a zombie. This is troublesome. Ice Bear LuoFeng's advance speed slowed, his silver eyes filled with worry. The deeper I go into the forest, the more terrifying the demon notes I'll occasionally meet. The silent demon notes invaded LuoFeng's soul. Ice Bear LuoFeng's body trembled slightly. This demon note strength, even a normal Sector Lord level 3 would be immediately controlled. LuoFeng was shocked within. According to the many islands and information in Fantasy Ocean, he could roughly guess the willpower and consciousness level of one's strength. Just in terms of willpower he was probably comparable to an Undying. It was just that his consciousness was weak, hence he was stuck in Fantasy Ocean's 10th island. And the demon notes? They didn't have any consciousness pressure, they were just illusions. Hence LuoFeng was better at resisting. This was also the reason why he chose Demon Note Mountain. Me. An extremely peculiar sound pierced through LuoFeng's soul. Immediately, 10,000 illusions appeared, one after another causing one to be immersed in them. Just passing through these 10,000 illusions would take who knows how many years. Break. It was a will that was pure to the extreme. There was absolutely no compromise and it completely abandoned all influences. Whoosh. The ice bear transformed into a stream of black gas, which then condensed into a human form. Finally, it transformed into the human form of the Black-Horned Youth. This place was already more than 100,000 kilometers away from where they first discovered the phantasmal beasts. In addition, they hadn't found any phantasmal beasts for more than 100,000 kilometers, so it was better to return to human form. Switch. LuoFeng returned to his earth body. It was best not to reveal the Mosha clansman body normally. LuoFeng looked at the ice mountain beside. That demon note earlier, even Sector Lord level 6 or 7 probably wouldn't be able to handle it. How strange. LuoFeng creased his eyebrows. I've been in Demon Note Mountain for a while, but the demon notes I've met in the caves are mostly very weak, even universe levels can withstand it. Occasionally he would encounter a level that could bewitch the universe and very rarely he would encounter a Domain Lord level demonic note. As for those that can bewitch the Sector Lord level, it's very rare. Looking at the vast forest of ice mountains in front of him, LuoFeng frowned, feeling even more peculiar. This ice forest, the demon note's power was simply too terrifying. Looking at the situation, the deeper he went, the stronger the demon notes would occasionally appear. If this went on, he would probably meet one that could bewitch the Sector Lord pinnacle. If it grew stronger, it would probably be a demon note that could bewitch the Undyings. At that time, even LuoFeng wouldn't have the confidence to withstand it. Continue? LuoFeng pondered. Go. LuoFeng gritted his teeth, his eyes gleaming. I'm very clear on my limits. This demon note is still very far from it. I want to see just how strong the demon notes in this ice forest are. LuoFeng continued forward. As he continued forward, the demon notes he met were sometimes strong and sometimes weak. However, overall, the demon notes were indeed growing in strength. After walking for another 100,000 kilometers or so, Li Tianlan suddenly stopped. That demon note before was the most terrifying one I've met since entering Demon Note Mountain. It should be able to bewitch normal Sector Lord Pinnacle warriors. LuoFeng gritted his teeth, squinting his eyes. His gaze was like a blade, almost materializing. The gaze was the window to the soul. Obviously LuoFeng was already extremely alert, his willpower and consciousness were condensed to the max. There's still a long way to go before my limit. LuoFeng continued forward, maintaining his alertness, not daring to be careless. However, after walking for just over 2,000 kilometers, he reached the end of the vast ice forest. 3 familiar wide cave passages appeared in front of him. Cave passages? I've reached the end of the ice forest? LuoFeng smiled, suspicious within. This ice forest is filled with strong demon notes. Are there any other secrets? LuoFeng turned around, looking at the vast ice forest that stretched for 100,000 kilometers. He felt that this ice forest should be special. I'll randomly pick one. LuoFeng immediately walked towards the center of the 3 wide caves. This cave's width was close to 20 kilometers, its height was about 7 to 8 kilometers. Compared to it, LuoFeng was a tiny speck. Like an ant walking on a human's wide walkway, when LuoFeng was about 10 m away from the cave entrance and was about to step in. Rumble. Out of nowhere, an unimaginable and terrifying suction force was born in the deep cave in front of him. The surrounding space instantly formed a vortex that could be seen with the naked eye. Some of the rocks and ice on the ground were sucked out of the ground and into the deep cave. And LuoFeng was caught off guard. So, his entire body was immediately swallowed by the vast cave entrance. Almost as though he was swallowed by a huge mouth. Damn, what's this? LuoFeng stared. Quang. At the same time that he was being swallowed, a silent demonic sound directly drilled into LuoFeng's sea of consciousness. It was as if a huge gong was violently being struck. Almost instantly, he felt as if his consciousness and willpower were like a boat that had fallen into a raging storm in huge waves. The huge waves came one after another, and the boat seemed like it could capsize at any time. Because of the demon note's interference, LuoFeng was in a situation where he could capsize at any moment. He couldn't care about anything else, his entire body was swallowed. LuoFeng's arm fiercely shot out incomparably thick dark red vines. Some of the vines directly pierced into the ground, while the countless thin vines grabbed onto the ground. There were even more vines that extended as fast as lightning, grabbing onto the entrance of the cave. The cave was close to 20 kilometers wide. And the Domain Lord level 9 cloud contact vine, every vine's length far exceeded this distance. almost like a huge octopus with many claws, madly grabbing onto the cave entrance. The plant life strength was unbelievable. Rumble, the terrifying swallowing energy, even with the cloud contact vine's desperate struggle, the vine still began to break apart. They forcefully broke apart. The ice that was penetrated by the leaves were immediately peeled off. My God. The demon note came and went quickly. Luo Feng immediately regained his consciousness. Seeing the vines break apart, he immediately roared within, change. The earth deity instantly turned into the Mosha clan clone, and the Mosha clan clone had already turned into a 30 centimeters long, 6 centimeters wide shuttle, the widest part. The two ends of the shuttle were pointed, the middle was round, and it was slippery. As the shuttle's size was much smaller than a normal human's, along with its structure, it caused the swallowing energy to be a few hundred times weaker than when it was in human form. So, the space darling, the Mosha clansman, after the swallowing energy was only a few hundredths of its original strength, it finally calmly resisted it and swiftly flew out of the cave. When the Mosha clansman's shuttle was over 100 m away from the cave, the terrifying swallowing energy from before immediately vanished. The shuttle became a black energy flow and formed a human form. Luo Feng stared at the center of the three caves before him. Recalling the scene before, he couldn't help but feel a chill within. I was instantly hit by the demon note, even I had to risk my life to resist it. A normal sector Lord Pinnacle definitely wouldn't be able to withstand it. And that swallowing energy, after the Mosha clansman transformed, it still relied on its proficiency in space laws to charge out. Luo Feng looked at the cave entrance ahead, filled with fear within. If he was sucked in, what would the outcome be? No idea. Luo Feng. Only now did Babada's voice resound. This is a classic death trap of the universe's secret regions. What death trap? Luo Feng asked within. In the vast universe, the strangest and most unpredictable are the many secret regions. These secret regions are all special changes that occur when the primal universe begins to evolve, resulting in many secret regions. All the secret regions can't be exactly the same. And the danger levels are different too. The danger levels are different too. Some of the dangers are out in the open, even though it's terrifying, that's still fine. However, some of the dangers are very sudden, it seems like it's safe, yet danger suddenly descends. Just like the cave entrance before you, this Demon Note Mountain has trillions of tunnels, the others are all very safe. Only you entered without any wariness, suddenly being attacked by the swallowing energy and Demon Note. I dare say, deep within these caves, there are even more terrifying dangers. Babada said, these sudden and unforeseen dangers are considered death traps. I wonder how many undyings there are. How many overflowing geniuses? How many absolute beings have fallen in these death traps? Babada said. Luo Feng was stunned. He suddenly remembered his teacher Tru Yen had once told him about an absolute genius, a sector Lord Pinnacle who could kill an official level undying. However, that peerless genius eventually died in the universe secret realm. Even though the absolute beginning region is controlled by the Virtual Universe Company, there are still a few special regions that even the Virtual Universe Company can't completely control. Babada said, like Blood River World or the depths of Demon Mountain, they are all like that. You have to be careful. Back when I followed your teacher, I've seen too many of these situations, too many warriors have died here. These death traps, some contain treasures, some are truly dead ends. Luo Feng nodded. After which he turned to look at the other two caves on the left and right. Head back, there's no way out. That sector lord is guarding there to the death. Head forward, there are 3 caves ahead, I can't go through the middle one. How do I go? The 3 caves were before him. Since there was no turning back, Luo Feng once again became a shuttle and attempted to enter the left cave. There's no swallowing energy, nor that terrifying demon note. After flying for more than 100,000 kilometers in a single breath, he finally reached the end of the cave passage. There were 38 other rock and ice passages in front of him. At the same time, he saw the remains of 3 corpses on the ground. Someone has been here before. Looks like it's still safe. The shuttle in human form, he couldn't just keep flying in shuttle form, other warriors and spirit readers would be shocked if they saw him. 3 days later. Using his earth body to disguise as the black-horned youth, Luo Feng carefully moved forward. His mood was relaxed. Ever since he left the ice forest through the left cave, he hadn't met any more peculiar situations, everything was normal. Just like when he first entered Demon Note Mountain, occasionally meeting aboriginals or lone beasts, the threat of the demon note wasn't that big. Now it seems the ice forest region is indeed special. Luo Feng recalled his experience. The deeper I went into the ice forest, the stronger the demon note's attack until I reached the end. Until the end, when I meet the swallowing and demon note attacks. After escaping from that, I haven't been in any danger until now. That deep and serene cave was the stopping point. I keep feeling that there's some sort of secret in that cave. Luo Feng subconsciously thought so. What are you thinking about? Thinking about the swallowing cave in the ice forest? Babada's voice resounded. I knew you would think about it. Right. Danger is often accompanied by opportunity. This kind of death trap is very scary, danger after danger, but if you can survive it, you might be able to obtain shocking rewards. Babada said, this is also the reason why many great existences like to explore the universe's secret regions. However, one has to know one's own limits. There are countless treasures in the universe, but many powerful beings have fallen one by one in front of those treasures. Babada said, Your strongest golden horned beast hasn't even stepped into the sector lord level. You want to enter such a death trap? Even undyings can fall. As for you, your chances of death are over 99% unless you're really lucky. Luo Feng immediately woke up. If the entrance was already this terrifying, then perhaps he really wouldn't be able to withstand it from the inside. The more powerful you are, the bigger the things you can do. Don't be greedy. Greed will cost you your life. Luo Feng looked at the endless rock and ice cave in front of him. The cold air invaded his body and he couldn't help but feel small. Compared to the many mysterious places in the vast universe, his strength was simply too weak. Even undyings fell one by one. Compared to them he was just an ant. Work hard. Only by becoming a true absolute warrior, in this vast universe where the strong are as numerous as the clouds, can I control my own fate. Only then can I protect my home and family. Luo Feng took a deep breath. Continue forward. Luo Feng was walking in the depths of the ice cave. There was a skinny man about 2.6 meters tall who looked like a bamboo pole at first glance. He had 2 long silver horns on his forehead and a goatee. He looked a little old and gloomy. This skinny old man with a goatee was lying on a deck chair carved from a layer of rock and ice. Golden light flashed faintly between his eyes as he closed them. He was even humming comfortably from his nose. More important, heavier. 2 aboriginal youths, one was massaging his legs while the other was massaging the skinny old man's shoulders. Beside them stood 12 youths that were either delicate, handsome, simple and honest or brave. There were universe levels and domain lords. The skinny old man opened his eyes, smiling as he looked at the universe level youth who was massaging his legs. Come here. Ancestor. That universe level youth swallowed his saliva. The ancestor wants you to go over. Beside him, a domain lord level man shouted. That universe level youth nervously approached. The skinny goatee old man laughed, reaching out with his skinny hand, grabbing the youth's hand, praising, being young is indeed different. That universe level youth seemed to feel uncomfortable all over, his body trembled and he fiercely retreated. Interesting. The skinny old man smiled. His powerful world energy pressured the universe level youth, almost like a rope binding him, causing him to be unable to move, pulling him right before him. Just kill me, just kill me. That universe level youth suddenly shouted, tears flowing out of his eyes. You really have courage. If you have the courage, you can kill yourself. The skinny old man suddenly turned and looked into the distance of the tunnel. In the distance, a black-horned youth was walking and he too stopped abruptly. The distance between the two was over 100 kilometers. However, at this time they could clearly see each other. Woo tsk, yet another universe level 9 punk. Look at his eyes, vigilance, introverted, and determination. Yet I don't see any fear? Top quality goods, I like it. The skinny old man smiled. Kamru, go personally and capture him for me. Yes, teacher. Beside, the strongest domain lord level 9 man replied respectfully, after which he became a beam of light and shot over. Luo Feng looked at the distant skinny old man, especially since he was releasing his energy, he felt something was amiss. Sector Lord Warrior, probably Sector Lord level 6 or 7. Flee. Luo Feng turned and fled. Whatever my old ancestor fancies, he can forget about escaping. A silver-horned man was like lightning, swiftly chasing. Little punk, don't worry, my old ancestor won't kill you, he'll only love you. Luo Feng's expression changed, goosebumps rose. Damn. A punk that liked men. In the universe there were trillions of races, and there were many that liked men. However, the human race's general custom was to have men with women. That was the path. And for those that liked men, even though Luo Feng was annoyed, he didn't care. However, now it was his turn, how could he not be disgusted? Ha, Luo Feng, I didn't expect you to encounter such a situation. Babata said. That disgusting old man. Luo Feng cursed. I saw the universe level youth beside him before, he probably forced himself on her, how disgusting. So, the domain lord level 9 silver-horned man swiftly chased. Hence from the start, the distance between them was over 100 kilometers. With this chase, they were instantly thousands of km away. Don't resist, otherwise I'll accidentally hurt you. When that happens, the old ancestor will feel heartache. The silver-horned man immediately rushed ahead of Luo Feng. Go and die. Luo Feng's eyes were cold. Changing his body, immediately changing into the Mosha clansman Luo Feng's appearance. Because of this, Luo Feng's goosebumps rose, hence he couldn't be bothered to use his earth body to kill him. Even though his earth body could kill a domain lord level 9 with the cloud contact vine, it would take more time and trouble. With the Mosha clansman it was much simpler. Illusionary figure. Luo Feng's body immediately appeared behind the silver-horned man, his blade flashing. Chi. The blade swept past the silver-horned man's chest, immediately slicing through the gaps in his armor. The blade energy ravaged and destroyed his life core. The silver-horned man stared wide-eyed. This? The originally weak opponent instantly vanished, following which he was killed. He had no way to resist at all. Damn disgusting. Luo Feng glanced at the corpse, immediately his body flickered and he fled far away. The goatee old man laid there, frowning. Why hasn't Kamlu returned yet? Teacher, maybe that universe-level punk would rather die than obey. Senior should spend some more energy. Another domain lord youth beside said. The goatee old man snorted softly, his world energy emanated and extended, immediately reaching the silver-horned man's corpse. Rumble. The goatee old man stared angrily, fiercely waving his hand. The universe-level youth that he was toying with immediately exploded, his entire body becoming minced meat and bones, scaring the people around to get out of the way. "My Kamlu, who killed you? I want to kill him." The goatee old man roared, immediately becoming a beam of light and rushing over. Simultaneously his world energy madly extended. However, with Mosha LuoFeng's speed, he had long left the tunnel. How could this old man find him? Luo Feng fled 1,000,000 km in one breath, passing through 7 tunnels before stopping. Even though I've heard of it and seen it before. However, this kind of warrior who likes men, actually wants to capture me, it's really disgusting. Luo Feng turned to look. My current strength isn't enough if I wanted to use the golden horned beast. However, this cave is only 10 kilometers wide. The golden horned beast's body is so shocking. I can't move at all. Forget it. Luo Feng shook his head, too lazy to think. If he had enough strength he would have slapped this punk to death long ago. Half a day later. Luo Feng sat on the ice to rest. He split a bit of his consciousness to connect to the virtual universe network, playing with his wife Su Xin and a large group of children. Primal chaos state training for a little over 30 years, 100 years in the primal universe, along with 80 years on Blood River World. This had caused Luo Feng's family to undergo a complete change. Luo Feng, 19.2 kilometers ahead, there's a domain lord level 9 man advancing. Babata's voice resounded. Luo Feng's consciousness swiftly returned. He looked up ahead. In next to no time, the figure of a 9th rank region lord realm man appeared ahead. The man's figure was short and robust, and he had a pair of black curved horns. Another domain lord level 9? Luo Feng shook his head. Over 10 kilometers away, the short man looked at Luo Feng, his eyes gleaming with a ferocious light. Universe level 9? The short man Pa Tuo looked at the distant black-horned youth and laughed coldly within. Punk, it's your bad luck to meet me. Pa Tuo. He was one of the 6 from the 1,000-star sect. Pa Tuo had chosen 6 from the 1,000-star sect, 3 sector lords and 3 domain lord level 9s. Moreover, Marquis Pa Tuo had even given 3 E9 laser guns to each of the 3 area lords. Clearly, Marquis Pa Tuo had left her trump card on these 3 people, and Pa Tuo was one of them. These few days in Demon Note Mountain, Pa Tuo had been extremely careful, afraid that he would walk into a dangerous place and be turned into a zombie by the Demon Note. At the same time, along the way he had wantonly killed many universe levels and domain lords. Usually when he met a world overlord he would flee. However, there was once a world overlord who chased after him. At that time, Pa Tuo didn't hesitate to use this E9 grade laser gun. The power of this laser gun was truly terrifying, instantly killing that world overlord. Even sector lords that meet me die. It feels great to have this E9 laser gun. It's a pity I can only use it for a short period of time. After I leave Demon Note Mountain, I'll have to return it to the god. Pa Tuo couldn't bear to part with it. He was very clear how expensive this E9 laser gun was. Even with his entire fortune, it probably wouldn't even amount to 1% of it. Pa Tuo laughed coldly at the distant black-horned youth. Punk, if you want to blame someone, blame the god. So, Pa Tuo became a bolt of lightning and rushed at Luo Feng, preparing to begin his 762nd massacre since entering Demon Note Mountain. Walking in the cold ancient cave, Luo Feng looked at the short man. Domain lord level 9? No threat. Chem? He actually rushed over. If you had the demeanor of a strong warrior and didn't bully a universe level 9 like me, I wouldn't have bothered to kill you. However, don't blame me now. Luo Feng's attitude was the same as before. He didn't even put a domain lord level 9 in his eyes. After all, just the cloud contact vine alone was already a domain lord level 9. Rumble. Luo Feng fiercely stomped on the ground, the layer of ice on the surface immediately cracked open, his entire being rushing at the short man. Clang. His blade was unsheathed. Haha, a universe level 9 punk dares to attack me. Pa Tuo's eyes flashed with disdain and a cold smile. His entire body was wrapped in lightning as he wielded a curved blade. In an instant, he arrived before Luo Feng and his curved blade became a bewitching blood and green-colored moonlight. Wah! The moonlight swept towards Luo Feng's head. Good blade technique. Luo Feng revealed a smile. His silhouette flashed and actually got within 2 to 3 meters of Pa Tuo. His blood shadow blade 2 lit up with a resplendent light. Dim Shadow 7 Absolute's blade, Dutchman's pipe. Clang. The moment their blades clashed, Pa Tuo, who was originally full of confidence and had a sinister smile on his face, suddenly paled. He felt an unimaginably terrifying impact from the moment their blades clashed. The impact was so strong that even he, a rank 9 region lord, was slightly unable to resist it, and his arm felt slightly numb. How is this possible? He. Pa Tuo's heart was in turmoil. He's only a universe level 9, how can one blade have such terrifying power? Domain lord level 9 and universe level 9. The difference was an entire level. In terms of energy, the difference was about 1,000 times. In theory, one move should have been enough to kill him. There's definitely no such sick person in 9-star Ocean. Don't tell me he's someone from the virtual universe company with some background. Many thoughts flashed through Pa Tuo's mind. According to what he knew, to be able to let a universe level 9 explode with such terrifying power, it had to be some support life forms. Support metal life forms, support plant life forms, support energy life forms, etc. These could possess a body. The moment they possessed a body, it would allow the owner to unleash an extremely strong power. Don't tell me he's the target of the god? The reason his attacks are so strong is because of the cloud contact vine. Pa Tuo suppressed his excitement. Even if he doesn't have the cloud contact vine, he definitely has other support life forms. In Demon Note Mountain, there aren't many people with backgrounds. The chances of him being the god's target is very high. Kill? Use the laser gun to kill him. The moment their blades clashed, many thoughts flashed through Pa Tuo's mind. He immediately decided to use the E9 grade laser gun. Because from what he could see, even if the person before him wasn't the target, he was definitely a powerful person. With that thought in mind, Pa Tuo naturally wanted to increase the distance between them. Hurry and leave. Dang. 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 The moment Luo Feng got close, along with his illusionary movement and Dutchman's pipe, it was incomparably terrifying. The close-range flashes of the blade were indeed dangerous. Pa Tuo wanted to dodge and flee, but Luo Feng's blade was simply too powerful. He didn't dare to be distracted. In the blink of an eye, the two had clashed over 10 times. Chi. The two immediately separated. As Pa Tuo retreated, he let out a sigh of relief within. I finally found a chance to retreat. This punk's use of the blade is like a madman, killing at such a close range, it's too crazy. Luo Feng however sighed within as he saw this. The cloud contact vine is ultimately just a support plant life form, even though it allows my strength to explosively increase. This strength ultimately isn't mine. When I use it, it's obviously not perfect. Even when I unleash my blade techniques, it's not at its peak. Otherwise, even if he could escape earlier, he would at least be injured. His thoughts flashed within. Trying to escape? Luo Feng roared and rushed. Dream on. Pa Tuo became lightning and swiftly distanced himself, simultaneously smiling as he turned to look at Luo Feng. Umph. The cloud contact vine speed wasn't fast enough under its support state. Luo Feng frowned and waved his hand. 18 thin vines extended from it. As they grew longer, the vines became thicker and thicker. The 18 dark red vines immediately became 10 m thick, almost like 18 terrifying pythons. On them, there were even vines and leaves that wrapped around the Domain Lord level 9. Pa Tuo. Die. Luo Feng couldn't be bothered to chase. Haha, it's indeed you. Pa Tuo, who was escaping, let out a maniacal laugh. While the 18 thick, long crimson vines were closing in on him, a mechanical object appeared in front of him. It was a pure silver-white object. At first glance, it looked like a mutated rocket launcher. The diameter of the barrel was a shocking 1 m. The body of the gun was 3 m long. It had an energy slot and a handle. One could grab this terrifying thing with one hand. This mechanical weapon was obviously much smaller than the Star Annihilator Luo Feng used before. It was a single soldier's weapon. However, the texture of the weapon and the muzzle gave off a strange sense of threat. It was terrifying. The warning light on the energy slot behind the weapon had already lit up red. Obviously the Domain Lord level 9 opponent had activated it the moment he took it out. Luo Feng used the cloud contact vine. The thick vines were like huge pythons as they wrapped around the opponent. However, the sudden appearance of the mechanical weapon stunned Luo Feng. What's that? Luo Feng was shocked. Laser gun? It wasn't that he hadn't seen a laser gun before. Back in the Sector Lord world, however, the structure was obviously different. Flee. Luo Feng. Danger. The moment that weapon appeared, Babata's shrill voice immediately resounded in Luo Feng's mind. That's the automaton's E9 grade laser gun, and it's even the X122 series of E9 grade laser guns. It can be said to be a top quality E9 grade laser gun. Its charging time is only a short 0.1 seconds. The moment it's charged up, it can instantly shoot out a terrifying super strong laser. Even an E9 grade alloy would be pierced by this super strong laser. Normal Sector Lord level 9 warriors without special treasures would die. Luo Feng's heart twitched. His hair stood up. His eyes stared wide open, staring at the distant opponent's metallic mechanical object. That was actually an E9 grade laser gun? An unprecedented fear immediately caused his soul to tremble. Even when he met Sector Lord warriors before, Luo Feng had never been in such a predicament. Even when he was swallowed by the mysterious cave, even if he was swallowed, it was still unknown if he would die. Hence Luo Feng had never been so afraid before. At this time, this was the true moment of life and death. The moment the E9 grade laser gun shot out, his 3 clansmen, the Domain Lord level 9 Mosha clansman and the Golden Horned Beast couldn't even block it. Because their bodies were far from strong enough. Of course with the Golden Horned Beast's size, as long as it didn't pierce any of its vitals, there was still hope for it to survive. However, the cave was too narrow, the Golden Horned Beast was too big, it couldn't fit in at all. And to rely on speed to dodge? That was even more unrealistic because even the fastest Mosha clansman, even if it accelerated to its maximum speed, it was still far from light speed. And the instantaneous burst of speed was even further away from its maximum speed. And the super strong laser shot out by the laser gun, its instantaneous burst of speed was already the limit of the universe. Light speed. A close range lock. Light speed shot. His consciousness couldn't even react. How could he escape? That Domain Lord level 9 warrior wielded the E9 grade laser gun in one hand and a curved blade in the other, constantly dodging and escaping, at the same time slashing at the cloud contact vine. Even though the cloud contact vine was powerful, It was after all only a domain lord level 9. In terms of level, it was the same as this human warrior. The opponent was purely defending and escaping. The cloud contact vine may be able to kill the opponent, but to kill him in a short 0.1 seconds wasn't too realistic. The thick laser gun's warning light went from red to green. 0.1 seconds had passed. Energy storage complete. Under the cloud contact vine's pursuit, Pa Tuo's expression was furious. He was originally fleeing, but he suddenly stopped and aimed his cannon at Luo Feng. This pinnacle of automaton technology, the E9 grade laser gun automatically locked onto the distant Luo Feng. Go and die. Pa Tuo laughed savagely and pressed the button.